Hi, in today's video, we'll be looking at macros and how recording macros can be used to automate repetitive time-consuming tasks. These automation can then be triggered using a single click of a button or a shortcut key, which makes these repetitive tasks way less time-consuming. I will also share with you an example in which we'll reduce a 12-task activity to a single click of a button. I am Jahfari. Thank you for watching. Please like this video and subscribe to our channel. Let's jump straight to it.
The main objective of this video is to look at what is Excel Macro, why use Excel Macro, and to look at a step-by-step example of recording repetitive tasks using Excel Macro. What is Excel Macro? Excel Macro can be viewed as a recording and playback tool in Excel. This tool records a sequence of clicks which can later be triggered by a keyboard shortcut or a single click of a button, and therefore automating the process. This in turn saves time and improves efficiency. Now let's take a look at our step-by-step example. Let's imagine you are the recipient of this raw data file periodically. This file consists of employee name and assigned location. Under the employee name column, employee names are joined. First and last names are joined, separated by a comma. These need to be split into individual columns. There are also duplications which need to be removed. And lastly, the font format in this data file is not suitable. The console font format which is currently being used need to be changed to Arial. And here is our final data table with employee last name, employee first name, and assigned location. Duplicates have also been found and removed, and the font format changed. All these activities could have been done by a single action. In order to start using macro, we need to ensure it is enabled. This is done by going to File, Options, Customize ribbon, and to the right we check the Developer option and click OK. Now macro is enabled. Macro is found under the Developer tab. Here it is. To record macro, hit record macro here at the top of the window or here at the base of the window. Before we record any macro, it is always a good practice to copy our data as it is unable to undo macro once it has been done. Let's copy our data. Our data has now been copied. Let's rename our tab Results. Let's record a macro. And the first step in recording a macro is to hit Record Macro. The dialog box allows us to name our macro. Let's name our macro. Let's call it Data Format. Please note, macro name may contain underscore, however, should not contain space character. Now let's assign a shortcut to our macro. I will assign Ctrl-Shift-G. Shortcut key assigned here should not be used by other programs in Excel or else it will be superseded. I will store this macro in this workbook and I have no description to add as my name is fairly informative. Let's click OK. And our recording has started as shown by the change of icon here. And the first task to be recorded is the removal of our duplicated data in the data file. Let's do it. I will start by selecting all the data that may contain duplication. And I've selected the data using shortcut keys. This is a dynamic way of recording macros and will ensure macros work properly in the event there is change in the volume of data. So I recommend the use of shortcut keys as much as possible, and I will share these shortcut keys with you.
The next step is to go to our remove duplicate function under the data tab. Hit remove duplicates. Ensure that both columns are checked here and hit OK. And there we have it. Excel is telling us that 4 duplicated values have been found and removed and 22 unique values remain. Great stuff. Our next step is to insert a column here to facilitate first and last name in separate columns. Let's do that. Let's insert a column here. Column has been inserted. Now let's select all the data that we would like to separate. And again, we will use our shortcut keys, which I'll share with you. Now our data has been selected. Now go to our text to column function. Hit text to columns. Hit next. Ensure comma is checked because our data is being separated by commas. Hit next and finish. And there we have it. Our data has been separated. I have also done tutorials which contain more details on using the remove duplicates and text to columns function. I will share the links to those videos, and if you're interested, you can check those out. Now, continuing with our recording, our next step is to format our header here. Let's do it. Let's select our header, rename, make bold, and color fill. And the final step in this process is to change our font format from Consolas to Arial. Let's do it. Let's select all the data for which we'll be changing the font format, in this case, all the information. And we'll use our shortcut key again. And we select our Arial font type.
The next step is to stop our macro recording. We can do this by either going to our developer tab or using the button at the base of our window. Let's stop our macro recording.
And that's it, guys. We have reformatted our data as shown here, and we have recorded all our steps involved in this process. Now let us look at how we can trigger all of those steps via a single shortcut key or the single click of a button. Let's do it. So here we have our raw data, and we will be formatting this data as we did just now using a single shortcut key. Just a reminder that the shortcut that we had assigned to our macro was Ctrl-Shift-G. Let us hit that shortcut to see the result. And there we have it. All that formatting was done using a single shortcut key. Now let us use a button to trigger this formatting. Here we have our raw data. We can add a button to trigger our formatting by going to our developer tab. Under the developer tab, we have insert. There we have different forms of control. Let's select our button. We can now see that our cursor has changed to allow us to add our button. We can hold down Alt key to ensure button snaps to cells. Before our button is added, a dialog box comes up, which is asking us to assign our button to one of the macros.
Our macro is called data formatting, so we will assign it to that macro and click OK. We can also rename our button. Let's call this data formatting. Now with the single click of a button, our data should be formatted as expected. Let's do it. And there we have it. Our data formatted with the single click of a button. It is important to note one doesn't need programming knowledge to work with Excel macros. However, if you're interested in knowing what goes on in the background, then we can take a look at our macros by hitting the View Macro option here. Selecting our View Macro option will show all the macros that we have in our workbook. The macro that we have worked on in this tutorial is data format. Let us step into this macro. This will open what is called our Visual Basic Editor. Here we have our Visual Basic Editor with our Visual Basic for application. Each code starts with what is called a sub and end with end sub, and in the middle there's the instruction. These are the instructions that we have given by the click of our button in our tutorial. If you would like to understand this code better, you could go to your debug option. The debugger will allow you to go through the code in a step-by-step manner. I will not go through in this tutorial as the intention is just to provide a top-line overview. Now let's exit this Visual Basic Editor. And that's it for our tutorial on VBA macros. Thank you for watching. Please like this video and subscribe to our channel. Bye.